to just kind of go through the best friend with your child and just what homework did you have today? What extra work did you have today? And that's just a good way to be able to just sit down and see exactly what they have to do outside of the school day.
Any other comments or questions? I'm so used to looking at blue here. Oh, go ahead.
Right. Yep.
Oh, go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted, because I wanted to follow up your comment that they're very into independent research at this point, and that's a characteristic of this age group. Given that they're in front of a computer all the time and they have access to Google, and obviously there's no...
We have Safe Search on.
We have Safe Search, but it's only rather limited. I mean...
Is there anything in your curriculum that expresses to the children that there are boundaries within their research?
I think there definitely are, and actually a lot of that actually comes. We're fortunate enough to have Lucy, who a lot of this comes through social studies and learning the online platforms, the Destiny database. There's a lot of safe search engines within that. There's Kids Infobits. There's World. I'm blanking on some of the names, but everything there's a whole litany of sources that the students can use that are safe and child friendly that they can access through Symbaloo, and we use those in school, and Lucy takes time to explicitly introduce those as well.
Sorry, just to confirm. So should she be searching through Symbaloo rather than, because at the moment we had a curated search engine that we'd built for her, but now she's saying it's not big enough. But should she be only searching through Symbaloo, which is fine, but...
I think as the year progresses, Lucy will be adding to the Symbaloo search database too. So that will be the place that she should go through. The search engines on Symbaloo will be where she can look up information.
I'll be safe and appropriate.
Thank you.
In a safe way. In a very safe way.
Okay, great. Okay,
and we love you guys. We're so happy to have you. We've never been happier.
Thank you. Let me see.
I have a question.
Oh, go for it.
I walked away when Asise was speaking just for a second, so I don't know if it was covered, but is the human development curriculum still going to be given to the kids this year?
Yes.
The sex
ed? And we did, we'll just keep building on where we left off in 3rd grade. And that'll happen in the spring.
We have a question. Well, we have 2 questions. Should we be trusting what our child is writing down in the best friend in terms of homework? Meaning, are they always paying attention? Do we need to be on top of any assignments that are or aren't due?
If for any reason you're ever wondering about that, you can always find the assignments on the schedule doc. So on the schedule doc, if you scroll all the way down now underneath where the one-on-one check-in blocks are, we've added kind of like a homework block where you can see the subjects, and that will be where the assignments are written. So he should have whatever is written on that doc in his best friend.
And we are also insistent that as they write down the homework into their best friend, they write it down verbatim. They do not miss any word that we have up on the screen. And we also before we leave that period, we'll also, granted, it's holding up their best friend to the screen, but we'll check that they've written it down verbatim and included everything that we've mentioned. And then you had a second question?
It's actually my question. Thank you. And echoing a lot of the accolades and just love for what's going on in 4th grade so far. So thank you guys. And it seems in the beginning of the presentation, there's some of the curriculum that you're adjusting for remote learning, and some of even the book that you picked out, I think sort of had an emotional element to it. Not to say what are we not getting, but what is not part of the curriculum that would have been part of the curriculum had we been in class? And is there any way for us to think about that as parents to supplement?
I don't think we're really leaving anything out. I think I think we're just kind of pivoting in terms of in terms of delivery of the information.
It's more so a modification of the curriculum than an omission of anything within the curriculum. I mean, naturally, some of the projects will just have to take on a different tenor than they would have had they been on hands-on projects within school. But we still are, as best as we can, ensuring that there are opportunities for collaboration and working with one another. But yes.
And the only reason we selected a new book for this first class novel is because one of the ones that they've typically done in years past was done as a read aloud last year in 3rd grade. So the kids already knew of that. So we had to kind of pivot a little so that they didn't hear, it wasn't redundant.
And it's interesting also that it might be somewhat counterintuitive, but one of the benefits of remote learning is that it actually enables you to cover more content than you may have in class. So there's really not the need to cut anything. Which again, it might be kind of counterintuitive, but we really are actually able to cover somehow more ground remotely than we would in person as far as the actual
because of that mute all button, Alex.
Oh yeah, that might be what it is. That might be what it is.
We really are, like, the first couple lessons we did, we kind of looked at each other and I was like, I almost ran out of things to do. Like as teachers, you always overplan. But on Zoom, you know, without all the little interruptions of, can I go to the bathroom? Can I get my pencil? Can I do this? You're actually able to get through more.
An hour on Zoom is 2 hours in class.
Yeah. So, you know, we are actually kind of chugging along. So we've been pleasantly surprised with that. At first, we were really kind of like, oh, how are we going to get all this in? And now we're trying to put in more.
Yeah.
Can I just jump back to Amanda's comment about, or her question about the best friend for a minute, because this comes up every year. And I do want to say, you know, a big part of 4th grade is establishing that autonomy for the kids. And so as much as we in the classroom, you know, are checking their best friends and you are wanting to check and be on top of it, there's also, I mean, this is the dance that we're doing as parents anyway, right? It's like how to give them just enough space that they are able to feel their own muscles struggling to do the work and maybe falter a little bit to find their balance. So I would just caution you to be too on top of it too quickly and really give them some room to feel into that experience of taking on this new responsibility. And giving them a little permission to find their way with it before, you know, sort of offering your 2 cents of parental wisdom, shall we say. And I say this as a teacher, but also as a parent. Yeah. My daughter really told me to back off, you know, in 4th grade. And I was like, okay, Alex, we'll have a conference in, you know, October to just check and see how it's going. So.
And the best question. Oh, sorry, and just real quick, the best friend also builds in a great accountability piece too, because if there's an assignment that's missing, our first response is check your best friend. So that also really helps too. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
We think you guys are amazing, and this has just been fantastic. My question really is, you know, academics are going to be whatever they are, and they're going to work out. It's all you've built such a great foundation so far. Do you guys have any plans for like rally days, or where 4CD has like dance parties or is doing stuff together that's not necessarily with the social connection teachers, but
well, we already ordered our Halloween costumes.
Oh yeah,
We already, just sneak peek, if I hope no kids are in the room, I ordered a blonde mustache and a wig to be Larry Bird, and Alex is obviously going to be Kareem. So we are hoping.
I'm gonna get goggles. In New Jersey.
We really are wanting to bring the fun, and even though we're so serious, but we are. We do have on Fridays. We have fan favorite Fridays where they are able to pick their activity that we do, and we always end up going over time and have to push the academics a little bit further down. This class is the class that even on their breaks, when they're about to go into a class, they ask us if we can open the Zoom early so they can hang out with their friends and talk. And we've been doing that because why wouldn't we?
Yeah. And the reason that we've been extending morning meeting and then consequently taking a little bit of time for the academic periods is because that is so important. And that is at the end of the day, we have 9 and 10-year-old children who should be having joy. They should be experiencing joy. And that is the purpose of morning meeting, and that is a goal of ours every single day. And yeah, as we get deeper into the year, we're gonna keep finding ways to do it. But yes, that is our ongoing goal, and our primary goal is bringing joy to, even if it's us through Zoom squares, bringing joy to all these kids, and to ourselves for that matter.
Although they are over our Zoom jokes.
That took about a day and a half. You may have heard some.
We tried
complaining about corny jokes, but we think they're cutting edge anyway.
I have a question.
Yep.
I feel lame after Sarah, like looking for the fun. I'm going to go back to academics, but not without saying that you guys are made of magic and we love you so, so much. And we cannot thank you enough for the giggles we hear coming down the hallway, because that's everything. So anyway, we worship you. Thank you. I just wanted to know if there was any chance that you guys would add an office hour drop-in for math or language arts, the way in science, and CSAE has that time where they can go in and ask questions. If there's just maybe like a 15-minute period on Thursdays where they could go for extra math if they have questions, or not to make your lives harder, but
that's a great question. So one thing is, as we get more into the year, those one-on-one check-ins can also become a time to check in about academics as well. But we realized that those are once a week, and that you may have a question on Monday and your time is until Thursday. So as far as scheduling some office hours, it's something that we can maybe circle back to later. But I think what we definitely are doing, and what we're doing now also, is we're having a lot of like time where students are off in breakout rooms, so we can check in with students individually. Also, we're just, if you have a question, just hang around at the end of the Zoom and just check in then. So we're definitely being mindful of the fact that students may have questions or need a little bit of help, and we're just we're as of now finding ways to integrate that within the regular schedule. And we're also, the students already have been really great about emailing us when they have questions, when they have concerns. We've gotten a lot of emails, whether it's about the Zoom password isn't working, or I missed this check-in, or sorry that I was late, or can you just clarify this for me? So we've really emphasized that the students, that we have an open inbox door policy, if that makes any sense, but that we've really just encouraged, like, reach out to us, please, whenever you have a concern, whenever it happens. And the students thus far already have been amazing about that. And so, and then we're also, as we continue to see that and continue to share that with other students, that, like, you know, we're getting these emails and someone had an email about this and that made me think of that, and just they've been on top of that already. So we've really been encouraging that too, and that's been really helpful.
Okay, great, thank you.
Question. First of all, just I wish I had a complaint, because I feel like you guys are going to get big heads, but you guys really have been amazing. It's been incredible, and I often don't know what's going on, but I know my kid is engaged, which is like the best of both worlds. But I've noticed that most of the work is being done during school. There's not homework, and which I think is positive, just because they're on screens all day. Is that deliberate? Is that the plan for the year? Or as there's more curriculum, is there a plan to do more homework?
Yeah, as the curriculum ramps up and as we get into more heavy content, there will be some work that will be done outside of the Zoom times. And I think part of how we envision homework is that it'll be more so a kind of an extension or continuation of what we're doing in the Zoom. But you know, it's an ongoing process, so we'll see how things develop. But as of now, the intention is that as we get more into academics, we will start to use some of that outside of Zoom time to finish things up, to continue things, to extend things that we've done in the Zooms themselves. But also,
it might be after, but it might even be after hours, right? It could be nighttime homework.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that's the case, it will be, I mean, we'll be very mindful of it being intentional and light and something that they're able to do independently on their own. And with the, you know, I mean, you're right, they're on the screen all day, you know.
Yes, so be mindful of the screen time too.
Typing an essay till 7:30 at night. So it'll be very thoughtful and intentional for them, an activity for them to complete. Anyone else?
One more question. Will there be tests this year, and will they take those online?
Assessing online is something that we are still figuring out. I think that I think we can probably speak on behalf of teachers across the country that we're still figuring out the balance because we obviously need to have some type of, whether they're or small informal assessments or more tests, we need to obviously be able to measure and gauge how much learning the students are doing and what of the content that they're taking in, but also being mindful of the fact that they are at home, they are on computers, they are not in person, they are in school during a pandemic, and there's a lot of things going on. And then also fourth graders, on top of that, already have more propensity to become anxious. We really want to be mindful of not putting too much on their plate to cause any further anxiety. So it is a balancing act between we need to know what the students are learning, but we also don't want to stress them out in any way, shape, or form. And
we're also sorry.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say we're also really mindful of it being an equitable thing.
Yeah.
You know, if we're going to assess kids and have it be an honest assessment, it needs to be equitable for everybody. And how are we able to do that? And that's a conversation we're still having. That's just our honest take on it. And if it were to happen, and we will obviously communicate that with all of you well.
Yeah. And also typically in fourth grade, the way things have been done is that every time that there's been any type of assessment that we've given in class, the students have been given a 1 week notice, the parents have given a 1 week notice, there was a study guide shared with 1 week to go. So should we get to the point where we are doing some more formal assessments, there will be ample notice for yourselves and the students as well.
And just to clarify that just because we're still sort of in flux around how to develop meaningful summative assessments, that doesn't mean that your kids aren't being assessed on a daily basis in terms of how they participate qualitatively, in terms of like little exit tickets or check-ins that we do along the way. So we are doing everything that we can to keep our finger on the pulse of your children's progress within the curriculum, but we're still trying to come up with ways to formally create summative assessments that feel meaningful and, as Jill said, equitable to all children.
Thanks, Nancy. Anything else?
Oh, we're at 7:58 here. We got 2 minutes if anyone has any other questions, but if not, thank you everyone for taking time to sit here for an hour with us, and thank you for all of your ongoing support throughout the year. And please feel free to always email us with any questions, comments, concerns, no matter how seemingly small or big. We're always here and available to all of you as we are to all of the students.
Yeah, we really want the kids to see us, all of us as a team. So thank you so much for everything. And thank you for having such awesome kids. Awesome kids. That's the joke we always
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Best team ever. Best team ever.
Kareem is much better than Larry Bird, though.
Nope.
Agree.
Wait till you see me in this blonde mustache and wig I got. It's gonna be.
Take it easy on Jill. She had a tough night. With
2-0. Bring it on. Celtics going down.